Tonight, controversial ICE detentions prompting protests here in the West. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. As the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement, we are watching this crackdown unfold all across the West. In Washington, 17 people were seen being taken into custody at a business earlier this week. We begin tonight, though, with today's detentions at a courthouse in Phoenix. As Fox 10's Steve Nielsen reports tonight, those who were taken into custody showed up to court for immigration hearings.
As the ICE agents emerged from court in downtown Phoenix, they had two people in custody. Immediately, they were swarmed by protesters. At times, there was pushing and shoving on both sides. Some tried to block the van from leaving. Protesters saying what's happening isn't right.
They think that we're scared of them. They think that we're going to just run off and be scared, but we're not. We're protecting each other. That's what a community does.
It's tragic because people who are doing what they're supposed to be doing, getting arrested, means that people aren't going to come to court. They're not going to do what they need to do and just give ICE more of a reason to arrest people.
Immigration attorney Isaac Ortega says before these scenes, he was representing a client from Venezuela seeking asylum. He says unexpectedly, the case, along with many others, was dropped by prosecutors.
Feels like it's a little sneaky because when you dismiss it, and now the person doesn't have any kind of case pending at that moment, then for them to sweep in and say, well, because you don't have something pending, we're going to detain you and take you away. So legally, are they able to do it? Yeah, I think so, but it doesn't feel right. And these individuals, they just want a chance to be able to be heard.
Ortega said he told his client to just ask for his attorney and not sign anything. AZ House Democrats called this government-sponsored trauma. We reached out to Arizona Republicans, but didn't hear back. Steve Nielsen, Fox 10 News.
And so far, ICE has not commented on today's detentions in Phoenix. It remains unclear where those who were taken into custody today are tonight. 17 undocumented workers were arrested at a warehouse in Kent, Washington as part of a federal warrant. Video posted on Facebook by Luis Cortez Romero, a local immigration attorney and partner at Novo Legal Group, has been viewed more than 80,000 times. It shows the moments those 17 workers were handcuffed and escorted out of the warehouse of Eagle Beverage and Accessories Products. An ICE spokesperson says the workers submitted fraudulent documents to seek employment. In a statement, they say, quote, ICE Homeland Security Investigations investigates worksite violations and or the exploitation of workers. Worksite enforcement investigations focus on reducing illegal employment, holding employers accountable, and protecting employment opportunities for the country's lawful workforce. A federal judge says the Trump administration violated a court order with an abrupt deportation flight that allegedly went to war-torn South Sudan. According to the Department of Homeland Security, 8 foreign convicts were deported yesterday on a flight from Texas. The department says no country wanted to accept them because their crimes are so uniquely monstrous and barbaric. But the State Department, ICE, and the president's national security team work to find a country willing to take them.
We found a nation that was willing to accept custody of these vicious illegal aliens. We are removing these convicted criminals from American soil so they can never hurt another American victim.
All but one of those immigrants had no ties to the African nation. The federal judge has asked for a list of names of everyone involved in that deportation flight so that he can notify them that they may be facing criminal contempt penalties. We have an update tonight on the bomb threat investigation that forced the evacuation of a plane at San Diego International Airport yesterday. Authorities say they arrested John Stay, a passenger on that Hawaiian Airlines flight that was set to depart for Honolulu. Authorities say Stay is a military service member. He's accused of telling a flight attendant that the passenger next to him had a bomb. Stay is facing several charges, including making a false bomb threat. After a search of that plane, passengers were allowed back on the aircraft to continue on to Honolulu. A United Airlines flight headed to Los Angeles made an emergency landing and returned to Honolulu earlier today after a concerning message was found written on a bathroom mirror. The airline didn't share exactly what that message said. The flight was carrying 339 passengers and 10 crew members. Law enforcement swept the plane, but it's unclear tonight if any evidence was found during that sweep. Passengers were rebooked on another flight to L.A. The Menendez brothers will now have to wait until August for their day in front of the California Parole Board. Governor Gavin Newsom withdrew his request for the parole board to consider the brothers for clemency. Eric and Lyle Menendez have been imprisoned for the last 35 years for the 1989 murders of their parents. Last week, a judge commuted their sentences, making them eligible for parole under California law because they were under 26 when they committed the murders. Their parole hearing is now set for August 21st and 22nd. Investigators hoping to solve a decades-old cold case in Washington have now cleared out of a Tacoma neighborhood. As Fox 13's Lauren Donovan reports tonight, their days-long search of a backyard leaves them with questions about the disappearance of a 2-year-old.
48 hours after it all began, they're gone. Investigators detecting dogs, the tents, the Tacoma Police Mobile Unit. That trench dug in the backyard has since been refilled. After all of that, Gunnison Street is back open. A newly posted private property sign has been stuck on the fence outside the home that was searched day in and day out after a tip surfaced in the connection of the 26-year-old disappearance of Tika Lewis. Now, this chapter may be closed, but Tika's mom is determined answers are ahead.
It was a sign of relief, but we're back at square one again. Where's Tika?
As everyone held their breaths, believing her daughter's cold case would come to a close, Teresa Kopetsky held mixed emotions in her heart.
It's been an emotional roller coaster from the first call I got.
Wednesday, Tacoma police came on camera to say,
fortunately, we did not find anything of evidentiary value related to this case. The case that we were out here looking into was the Tika Lewis case.
Confirming the rumors were true.
I can't give you exactly the information that we received or where it came from at this point because there are still other things that we need to look into. But the leg that led us here to South Gunnison for now is finished.
This all after days of denying when we asked, was there a connection here? Officer Shelby Boyd with TPD explains why they had to withhold that information.
We want to be able to not just locate somebody, if you will, but also to solve the crime. And so by giving out information related to that, we're losing some leverage in the prosecution of the case or in finding a suspect. So we really try at Tacoma to keep those details really tight.
When I found out that one of the investigators was out there, I knew it was mine. I knew it was about my daughter.
Teresa tells me she appreciates having communication directly from the chief of police, but she contends authorities need to share an image of the suspect to solve this decades-old cold case.
We just want closure. We want to know what happened.
Reporting in Tacoma, Lauren Donovan, Fox 13 News.
Coming up on West Coast Wrap tonight, a police chase turned into a rescue mission in Colorado, and the entire thing is captured on camera. Coming up tonight, how law enforcement saved the life of a suspect on the run. Also, police in Nevada using a grappling hook-like device to stop a fugitive in the middle of a pursuit.
And in weather, here's our live camera looking out towards Seattle. Lots of cloud cover right now and the possibility of some rain showers for tomorrow. We'll have the update coming up.
Come here, bud! Come here! Come here! Come here!
Newly released body camera video shows police officers rescuing a domestic violence suspect in Colorado. Investigators say he got caught up in a river's dangerous current as he was running away from Durango police last week. A police officer jumped in the water to help get the suspect to safety. After the suspect got on shore and caught his breath, officers took him into custody. Las Vegas police arrested someone using a grappling hook-like device during a pursuit, and they stopped a man who was wanted in Washington. The police department posted video on social media showing last week's pursuit of 27-year-old Damian Madison. They caught up with him along Interstate 15 south of Las Vegas. Investigators say Madison was suspected of being involved in several dangerous pursuits. In one of those cases, authorities say he fired shots at sheriff's deputies in Thurston County, Washington. That's video showing those shots being fired at deputies during that pursuit. Investigators say Madison leaned out of a vehicle that was being chased and fired an AR-15. No one was injured in that shooting. Madison is expected to face a variety of felony charges. An AI gun detection system in some Utah schools is already showing results. Fox 13's Mia Constantino spoke with people behind this new technology.
A squirt gun flagged as a threat at a Granite School District high school, not by a school resource officer or a teacher, but by an AI system. I'm Mia Constantino in Salt Lake City. Does advanced AI technology significantly improve public safety at schools? I spoke with retired Sheriff Spencer Cannon about this new security system called Zero Eyes that can be found in over 200 schools across Utah. Things weren't the same back when former Utah County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon was in high school.
It used to be that you could walk into any school any time of day and just walk anywhere in the school.
Those days are long gone.
We can't do that anymore. It's the world we live in.
In a time when mass shootings remain a national concern, many like Cannon see Zero Eyes as a step forward.
It's a different world, and we have to take precautions and put protective measures in place to identify threats that might be there as early as we possibly can.
Zero Eyes is integrated into existing security camera networks in schools, businesses, and other public spaces. It's not some new system you can see as you walk in. Its sole purpose is to detect firearms.
Gun comes out of a bag. Algorithm says, I think it's a gun. Human verifies it's a gun. Dispatch goes out to the client. So in the real world, this happens in about 3 to 5 seconds.
In the 2023 legislative session, the Utah legislature passed HB 61 to increase school safety. This allowed the Utah State Board of Education to choose the system Zero Eyes and work to install it statewide. The system can tell schools and law enforcement exactly where a shooter is.
If they were dispatched to, let's say, a campus that was 5 acres, they now don't have to show up at the front door and figure out where to go. That alert drops a pin on the exact location of where that gun was identified.
The expansion of this technology hasn't come without criticism.
You certainly don't want to take away people's right to freedom and the right to movement and everything, but I think there are very few people who would argue against additional security measures.
In Salt Lake City, Mia Constantino, Fox 13 News, Utah.
House Republicans tucked a surprise measure on artificial intelligence into their tax bill.
A single nationwide regime around AI, or do we want to have 50 different regulatory frameworks, one for every state?
The Republicans' giant gift to big tech would block enforcement of laws on the books right now that are protecting Americans from real-world harm.
And California Attorney General Rob Bonta says the state strongly opposes what is a ban on AI regulations at the state level. He believes that states should be able to, quote, protect their residents by responding to emerging and evolving AI technology. The Justice and Education departments are going after laws in Washington state focused on transgender students. The joint investigation stems from ongoing controversy at La Centa High School, which has faced losing state funding over its policy requiring a meeting with parents if a student wants to change their gender identity. Under Washington state law, schools can't share gender identity information with parents if the student doesn't consent. The Trump administration is now trying to determine whether that policy violates federal law. Some La Centa employees say families should know.
If I leave the parents out, then I erode that trust. And I'm expected to call home if they want to use sunscreen. But if they're going to change their gender identity, I shouldn't call home.
Washington State Superintendent defended the law, calling the investigation, quote, an alarming attempt to infringe on the rights of our transgender and gender expansive students. Millions of dollars in funding could be on the line in this case. The Department of Justice says it's closing its multi-year investigation into the Phoenix Police Department. Fox's Lauren Clark brings us the details of what was discovered in that lengthy report.
It begins in 2021. Then Attorney General Merrick Garland announced an investigation into the Phoenix Police Department following a series of fatal and use of force incidents. Nearly 3 years later, they released a 126-page scathing report. It found systematic issues in the department, discriminating against people of color and the homeless, and violations of constitutional rights. The DOJ pushed for the city to sign what's called a consent decree, a federal monitoring system used after an investigation concludes police reform is needed. But the city pushed back, pointing to costly and lengthy consent decrees issued in the past. PD and others also slammed the findings, claiming they were exaggerated and politically motivated. With neither side budging, the stage was set for a brutal legal battle. Until today.
And that was Fox 10's Lauren Clark reporting tonight. The Department of Justice says it is also dismissing some other lawsuits, those against police departments in Kentucky as well as Minnesota. Let's turn now and talk about our weather here in the West. A summer-like feel in many parts of the Southwest today. Here's a live look. EarthCam images coming to us from Las Vegas, where there is the potential for temperatures to hit the triple digits at some point over the next few days. Heat advisories also in effect for some parts of Southern California. They're dealing with some really warm weather right now. For more, let's bring in KTVU's chief meteorologist, Mark Tamayo, who is tracking this warm up and has the forecast all across the West. Hey, Mark.
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, parts of the West heating up. Triple digits today out toward Tucson and Phoenix, Palm Springs, 107 degrees. This is for LAX, 74 degrees, but downtown Los Angeles in the 80s this afternoon. So you can see some warm to hot numbers today. Not so much, though, for Portland and Seattle, as we have a cooler weather pattern kind of locked in up for that portion of the West Coast. In fact, right now, here's the satellite, and you can see some clouds approaching southern Oregon and some rain showers linked up with this system as well. So we do have the possibility of some showers for tonight into tomorrow morning for a place like Seattle. It's only about a 20% chance up until about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Current numbers out there right now, it's still 99 degrees in Phoenix, Las Vegas 95. They're expected to reach 100 degrees for tomorrow. San Francisco has cooled off to 59, and Seattle right now checking in 60 degrees. This was Seattle today, showing you the clouds out there and that temperature of 62 degrees. In San Francisco, lots of sunshine. This was the scene looking out toward Ocean Beach. A warm to hot day, especially away from the coastline for the Bay Area. And then in Phoenix, you can see all the sunshine. Of course, the heat making a comeback back up in the triple digits this afternoon. As we show you the overall weather story for tomorrow, there's chance of some rain for Seattle. It's a slight chance. It's primarily up until about 9 o'clock, as I mentioned, for tomorrow. A cooler weather pattern for the Bay Area. It's warm down in Southern California. It's hot in Phoenix, and then more sunshine out in the Denver area for tomorrow afternoon. We're checking out the satellite, the forecast satellite and the cloud cover here in the rain. You can see some rain showers. The unsettled weather is up here for your Thursday, but then a few high clouds for central and southern California. This is for your Thursday. And then into Friday, maybe some instability moving into southern Oregon, but still lots of sunshine for central and southern California. So here is the breakdown over the next few days for Seattle. Once again, that shower chance overnight tonight, but then partly cloudy skies into the afternoon hours. San Francisco, a bit of some cooling for the Bay Area for Friday and into Saturday. Southern California back up into the 80s for tomorrow. And then for Phoenix, once again, we're talking about triple digits, 105 for Thursday, 104 for Friday. Then we'll cool things back off into the upper 90s. And then, as you can see, here's some the forecast highs in Denver approaching the 70s and the 80s. So some parts of the West Coast, we're talking about some heat. Other parts, still some rain showers out there. So a bit unsettled, if you can see, really mainly focused up here to the north as we head into Thursday morning. Alex.
All right, Mark, thank you. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, anger over the relocation of 2 elephants at the Los Angeles Zoo, the legal action taken by animal rights activists. Plus,
we have the kangaroo detained.
not exactly the type of pursuit that police officers train for, how they closed in on a kangaroo who was on the run in Colorado. We're following some breaking news tonight in Arizona. That's where people are being evacuated because of a new wildfire that's burning in Pinal County. What's being called the Cody fire started late this afternoon. So far, there's no word from authorities on exactly how big this fire is or how it may have started. But again, a concerning situation there in Pinal County, just outside of the Phoenix area. We'll continue to follow that and get you more information as soon as we learn more. Now we turn to another fire in Arizona we've been telling you about this week. We are seeing some of the damage caused by a fire in Apache County, with charred trees along one of the main roads there. This is video from the Greer Fire District. Crews are reporting significant progress fighting this fire with 88% containment tonight, up from around 39% at this time yesterday. This fire has burned more than 20,000 acres near the Arizona-New Mexico state line. Several structures have been destroyed by the flames. It's still unclear what started this fire, but firefighters are confident that it is not going to continue to grow any larger than it is right now. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is predicting Tesla's Robotaxi service will launch in Austin, Texas next month. Musk told CNBC that he aims to bring its Robotaxis to San Francisco and Los Angeles following the Austin debut. Musk said 10 Tesla Robotaxis will start in that city and expand to thousands more should the launch be successful. Well, the two remaining elephants at the Los Angeles Zoo were quietly moved to a zoo in Oklahoma despite a pending lawsuit. Animal advocates say the Asian elephants named Billy and Tina were sent to the Tulsa Zoo early Tuesday morning. A lawsuit filed by a nonprofit animal rights group called for the elephants to be transferred to a sanctuary rather than a zoo where they would have smaller quarters. The LA Zoo says the Tulsa Zoo has other Asian elephants who will help socialize the elderly animals, and the move allows them to stay together. U.S. wildlife officials say they've proposed putting Nevada's Fish Lake Valley tui chub on the endangered species list. This marks the first time the Trump administration has considered adding a species to the list. Environmentalists say the olive-covered minnow is on the verge of extinction due to rapid groundwater pumping near Nevada's southwest border with California. That pumping is happening in an area experiencing drought conditions. U.S. wildlife officials will make a decision about whether to add the fish to the endangered species list after a 60-day public comment period. And finally tonight, police in Colorado nabbed a notorious repeat offender.
We have the kangaroo detained.
Body camera video shows officers in Durango capturing Irwin the kangaroo after he escaped from his owner's backyard and then bounced right over to a neighbor's place. Officers caught up with him there in that side yard area. This is not the first time police in Durango have found themselves in hot pursuit. Last October, Irwin was spotted jumping around town when he was just a baby and was wearing a diaper. At that time, officers used a large bag to capture him. Owning a kangaroo, by the way, is legal in Colorado. Irwin is back home safe tonight, and police say they were happy to help. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always, and a quick reminder before we go tonight, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're covering for you all across the West at our website. It's westcoastwrap.com. And you can stream all of our shows on your smart TV. All you need to do is download the free Fox Local app. A beautiful shot here of San Francisco and the Bay Bridge there in the foreground. Have a great night.